Hello, my name is Dr. Rob Havers, President and CEO of the Pritzker Military Museum and Library. Welcome to this year's special program in honor and celebration of today's holiday, Veterans Day. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to thank our members and our donors for their support of the museum and library. We are proud to be a part of your military history exploration. Today, the museum and library wanted to bring together a special program showcasing the voices of veterans from across our collections. Museum and library staff members will highlight and review oral histories, letters, and books showcasing veterans across a number of conflicts. We are honored to collect and preserve these pieces of veteran history and are incredibly excited to share them in this more personal format. Thank you for joining us in celebration and honor of military veterans and their service.
Hi, I'm Dustin Depew, the Director of Museum Collections. I'll be reading the letters of Private Daniel Schwartz. Schwartz was a Union soldier who served with the 21st Regiment, Ohio Infantry during the American Civil War. He enlisted in August 1861. Schwartz sent letters home to his younger sister, Rebecca, living in Findlay, Ohio, about his regiment's movements, experiences as a soldier, and plans for his life after the war. Camp Jefferson, Bacon Creek, Kentucky, January 14, 1862. I wish I could be at home about 1 week to see all of the folks. I often think of home and its privileges. I think if I ever get home again, I'll appreciate it better than I did previous to my coming. I'm by no means discouraged with my situation, for I live very well, almost as I would in a house. We are pretty cold now with some snow, but we have new tents and good stoves, and we will suffer but slightly. I wish you could be here to eat one meal at our table. I think you would enjoy the occasion. We do not know when we leave this place, probably not for a month. I, for my part, wish we would leave soon and rout those rebels at Bowling Green, and from thence to Nashville, Tennessee, and still on till every last rebel is either killed or taken, so that we can go home in peace. I don't want to go home till peace is declared. Remember my respects to our neighbors and some of my female acquaintances. Write me another letter soon. Nashville, Tennessee, November 25th, 1862. I am happy to say that my health is good, for which I feel thankful. I believe that a kind providence is watching over me wherever I go. In all the time that I have been out, I have seen but one sick day, and I have not yet met with any accident. But this war surely is a bad thing. Thousands of intelligent young men have been killed, and a great many died in hospitals for want of proper care. And thousands will yet die and be killed before the close of this rebellion. The people of the North do not have any idea how destructive war is and the desolation it spreads in the country where it rages. The country from here to Bowling Green is in great desolation. Nearly every house is burnt to the ground, and the inhabitants have gone to other parts. The country surrounding Nashville has been pretty well stripped of everything that was of any use to the Army. I think that the people of Kentucky and Tennessee are about tired of this war. 1 month after writing this letter, Daniel Schwartz was killed during the Battle of Stones River on December 31st, 1862, at age 21. He was buried at Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I could hear enemy moving all over. Obviously, they'd reacted to that aircraft being shot down. I had 5 regular North Vietnamese soldiers in their regular North Vietnamese Army uniforms with their AK-47 rifles pointed at my head, gesturing, motioning for me to get up, stand up, which I did. And in that instant, I was captured and I was a prisoner of war. Well, very soon, I regretted that I shared anything with him because I really thought maybe I could get some medical help for my condition, maybe something for my back. But he soon shifted to what were obviously tactical questions, and I as immediately shifted to my code of conduct, name, rank, service number, and date of birth, and things went downhill from there as he got more irritated and my refusal to answer his questions. So he went through a series of of iterations with the ropes, where he first had me tied up to a tree, which I think he gleaned that from my broken back that would hurt, and indeed it did. It hurt terribly. After that, the questioning then went to him tying my arms behind my back with ropes and ever pulling those ropes closer and closer and closer together until finally my elbows touched behind my back and both my shoulders dislocated. I don't know how long I could have endured. I couldn't even lay back at night to sleep because with my broken back, you couldn't turn on your side. You just had to go straight back, and I couldn't go straight back and sleep on my back, so I slept sitting up. I began getting sick. I got amoebic dysentery. I got 3 kinds of intestinal parasites. These were all diagnosed when I got back, so that's why I know what I had. And I got 3 different kinds of malaria, 3 different kinds of malaria, one of them very often fatal. And then a condition called tropical sprue or malabsorption syndrome, which causes your intestines to not absorb things as they should. So I was rapidly losing weight. My leg was getting very infected. And I didn't know how long I could hang on, but I was going to hang on as long as I could hang on. That was for sure. But as soon as I started marching on that day's journey, I began to wonder what would happen if I couldn't make it, because I had no idea how I would even get to the end of that first day's journey, how I would be able to make it all that way for those 11 days to that new camp. We'd find that if a prisoner fell out and couldn't walk anymore, that the group would continue. One guard would stay back. We'd hear a rifle shot or shots, and then the guard would catch back up with the group. So one day along the trail, that had happened to me a number of times, but I've always been able to drag myself up, take another step. You learn, and I guess that's one message in the book. If we face challenges in life, you just don't know how much there is down inside to dig up. There is a lot. You can reach down inside yourselves and really get a lot and keep going. And I was able to do that time after time after time.
Hi, I'm Andrea Martinez, archivist of the Museum and Library, and I'll be reading the letter of Helen Strelzak. Technician 3rd grade Helen Strelzak was a member of the Women's Army Corps during World War II. She served in the Pacific Theater and was stationed overseas with the U.S. Army Service of Supply in Oro Bay, New Guinea. She was then transferred to the Philippines in April 1945 and was stationed at Quezon City and Manila until her departure home later in November. Only 4 days away from the States, November 14th, 1945. Dear Taba, it won't be long now and I'll be seeing the old country. Just thinking about it stirs up the butterflies in my stomach, and the days just can't go fast enough. I believe all the waiting around I did in Manila for the ship was worthwhile. The last days of waiting really got on my nerves. They restricted us all day Wednesday as well as that evening. Thursday again, we were restricted during the day and it was lifted in the evening. The same thing happened Friday, and finally Saturday morning we had definite word that we would board ship in the afternoon, and we did, about 2 o'clock. Eating fresh food and being in the cold weather has made me feel like a million. I had lost that tired out feeling and now feel full of energy. I used it up walking around the deck each evening. Believe it or not, I walked a mile a night, about 30 times around the deck. Day before yesterday, we passed the international date line, giving us 2 Tuesdays this week. We finally caught that day we lost going over. We're due to arrive in Frisco Saturday. A big time is planned on the ship for Saturday night, so the rumors fly. I thought rumors were bad in camp, but I'm wondering now after hearing all these aboard ship. November 18th, 10:15 a.m. Honestly, I just can't believe it. I'm in the good old USA again. Everything looks so good. Yesterday, our last day aboard was perfect. I couldn't ask for a better day. For our last meal, we had turkey with all the trimmings, and it was delicious. Right after mess, I went on deck and stayed there freezing for 4.5 hours watching for the Golden Gate. It was a beautiful night with a full moon and no fog. I first saw the lights of Frisco about 8 p.m. It looked just like fairyland. The closer we came, the prettier it looked. I felt just as excited as I did the day I heard the war was over. We went under the bridge at 10 p.m. Chills just ran through my body. I couldn't figure out if it was from the cold or otherwise. Everyone yelled. Once past under the bridge, the lights, the homes, the skyscrapers, it left me speechless. It is still hard to believe, even writing now. I feel a lump in my throat and my eyes keep filling.
What I hope is what I did throughout my whole career, is to take care of everyone that worked for me, everyone that I came in touch with, that they were, protected and taken care of and allowed to be the most that they could be. I think the women in our class need to be honored. I think each one of them, they did something really hard, and we all, it's still in our heads, and you can't clear that out for the rest of your life. I think they deserve to be honored. And I guess the other thing is, I hope that we don't pretend simply time passing means that problems are solved. Whether you're talking about women or race or gender or any of it, but time passing doesn't mean problems are solved. So don't kid yourself into thinking because we have changed some laws and we have provided more privilege and we have put bad things that happen on the news and we've formed committees, that somehow means that we've ensured that women have equality in the military. And that's what I hope to fight for the rest of my life, if I have opportunity, is to continue to focus on inequalities and opportunities to make women more equal.
Hi, I'm James Brundage, museum curator, and I'll be reading a letter from 2nd Lieutenant Donald Casey. Casey enlisted in the United States Army Air Corps in 1943. He trained as a navigator and was assigned to a B-17 named Hell's Bell as a part of the 379th Bomb Group Heavy in the 8th Air Force. During his 28th mission in June 1944, Casey's plane was shot down over Hamburg, Germany. Casey was captured by the Germans and became a prisoner of war at Stalag Luft III. He remained there until January 1945, when German guards moved the prisoners out of camp towards central Germany to avoid the Russian army. Casey and the other airmen were then interned at Stalag 7A until April 29, 1945, when the U.S. 14th Armored Division liberated the camp. June 23, 1944. Dear Mother, this is not a permanent address, so don't write. I'm okay and unwounded, so don't worry. Letters will be few, but they'll come. I hope I haven't ruined Jim's vacation and you haven't worried too much. Give my love to all and be patient, as I shall have to be. The end of it is near and I'll be with you then. Watch your health. I miss and love you all. Don. June 29, 1944. The Red Cross, God bless them, will give you dope on packages. Send concentrated stuff and mind these old boys can really cook. Use your imagination. I had lemon pie last night. Lemon flavor, condensed milk, and ground cracker crust. I'm not too lonesome yet, but I may need your encouragement. I love you all, and I'm hoping for the best. Don. July 29, 1944. I'm still alive and kicking and hoping. My only worry is winter for lack of warm clothing. On the whole, the camp is comfortable and pretty well stocked with things to do, but there is still plenty of time to think, which one can't help some of the time. We get German communiques over the camp radio and spend a lot of time talking about the war. It's also a favorite pastime to argue to great lengths over anything just to be arguing. We combine our food parcels, 12 roommates, and 2 men do the cooking with a change every week. I'm glad these boys have the experience and can cook as they can. Needless to say, we eat well for POWs. Don't worry too much, because I'll do some. Love, Don.
While I was active duty and racing too, I would basically work during the week, just regular, 8 to 4. And on the weekends I was racing. And every once in a while I'd have a race or some type of test or practice that might happen during the week. And then I'd have to take either special liberty or leave to make that happen. And then once I transitioned into the reserves, now all my my military commitment days were now on the weekends, which are also during a lot of race weekends. So I've had to move them around a little bit. Maybe if I had a race on this certain weekend, but a free weekend the next, I'd have to move my drill weekend to the next weekend so that I could still do my Navy commitment, but also be able to race too. They've been very flexible with that, which has been great because, I've been able to represent the military too. So while being in NASCAR, being in the ARCA series, it's a big stage, a lot of people are watching, and with what I'm doing, I can be an inspiration and motivation to a lot of sailors, Marines, and really anyone in the military. So I've been trying to be the best ambassador I can for the military so that while I'm, doing my thing on the track, I'm also representing the military in a great light.
Hi, I'm Terry Embry, Director of Library Services at the Pritzker Military Museum and Library. Today, I'm going to introduce you to 5 memoirs written by veterans. The first one we have today is called The Heart of a Soldier. It's by Kate Blaise. It's a true love story where she tells how she fell in love with her husband Mike, how they joined the military, served in the war in Afghanistan, and their sacrifices. It's an uplifting story of resilience. In our second book, Beyond Nang Dug by Roger H.C. Donlin. Donlin tells the story of his service in the Vietnam War as part of a Special Forces unit. He includes details of the action for which he received the Congressional Medal of Honor. You can also listen to him tell his story on our website as he visited the museum and library in 2007.
That was after his first visit.
Voices of the Korean War is a collection of stories from veterans who served in what is often considered the forgotten war. It includes numerous accounts from the front lines. Our fourth book, See Naples and Die, is a memoir of a United States Army ski trooper with the 10th Mountain Division in the mountains of Italy. Ellis gives the hard details of what it's like to serve as an infantryman. Our fifth book is A View from My Foxhole. Jones shares his story in the United States Marine Corps during the Marianas Islands and Marshall Islands campaigns in World War II. He captures the heat of the Pacific and the experiences of young officers from that time. All of these books are available for loan from the Pritzker Military Museum and Library, so check them out.
Thank you for joining us on this Veterans Day. If you enjoyed this program and are looking for more engaging content, be sure to visit our website for a list of free videos on a host of thought-provoking topics. If you are not yet a member of the Museum and Library already, please consider becoming one today. Our membership community is vital to supporting the activities that help fulfill our mission and our vision. Happy Veterans Day.